Okay, got it. So good evening, everyone. We would like to thank you for joining us today. Let me just start by, why we started the Leading Lady series on DataQuest. Women in IT, we all talk about it. There's Women in Engineering Day, we celebrate Women's Day. But if you go by statistics, the latest, survey from the Department of Labor in the US says that women constitute only 29% of the STEM workforce. So we decided that we need to talk to inspirational women leaders, because who better than them to encourage young women to take up a career in STEM? So to talk about the same, we have with us today Ms. Rupa Raj. She's the Vice President and Head of IT, APJ for VMware. She's had a very illustrious career. Over 20 years of experience in various IT companies like Accenture, Thomson and Reuters, and Altel Wireless. So Ms. Rupa, thank you so much for joining us here today. It's a pleasure, to have you here with us today.
Thank you, Supriya. Thank you so much. And I should say, it's a fantastic initiative. We really need to inspire young women in technology to come up in the career ladder. So I really appreciate this initiative as well as for inviting me in this forum.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Rupa. So Rupa, let's start with, talking about how your journey has been in the IT industry. I mean, how did you decide to take a career in STEM? And, what were some of the challenges that you faced over the last 20 years?
Sure, Supriya. Well, I should say that my journey has been quite an interesting journey. To be honest, few adjectives are coming into my mind to describe the journey. Maybe dynamic, full of learning, exploring, tough, challenging, fulfilling. I can quote so many adjectives. The reason why I'm really calling out these adjectives is, to be honest, I have done my bachelor's of engineering in computer science here in India. Then I went to US to do my master's back in 1995. I started my career in the US in 1998 as a software developer for a telecom company called Altel Communications, which later got acquired by Verizon Wireless. It is one of the leading telecom giants in the US today. The telecom industry, especially on the mobile side, was going through massive transformation back then. So I was very opportunistic, right? I got an opportunity from the beginning to apply newer technology to solve some of the very complex business problems. I started as a C++ developer and then moved on to Java when Java came into the market, and pretty much evolved since then with the newer technologies, explored various technologies, various softwares, various open source softwares, and moved on to technology architecture. I'm calling this out because the architecture is one of the areas within technology where there is not much of diversity even today after so many years. So I joined Accenture back in 2004 as a middleware architect in the US. So worked on various large and complex system integration programs across mergers and acquisitions, across different industry groups. And then I got onto management roles. So this was a big shift for me after being a very hardcore technologist, after being an architect for many years. I moved on to management roles, right? And then since then, I have played various leadership roles, predominantly working with financial services customers across the globe, helping them deliver large technology platforms, helping them transform their IT and operationalize their business a lot more effectively. So I grew up the ladder, became managing director, became a partner in Accenture. So during this journey, I really have to call out two important points. One, I got a lot of support, mentoring, coaching, sponsorship from senior leaders within my organizations, which was very, very instrumental in my career growth. And I also have to call out my family members as well, because my family responsibilities expanded. I have 2 children, quite a bit of sacrifices from their side, a tremendous cooperation and support from the family members while I had to work long hours, extensive travels, etc. Right? Thinking of travel, by the way, I used to visit India when I was working in the US quite often. And I've always been fascinated by the role, by the scale, by the roles, different roles that were emerging in India market, and then growth opportunities, and more importantly, able to support customers across the globe. when you're in the US, you end up supporting US customers, right? Whereas in India, you happen to support customers across the globe. So this fascination, of course, my Indian origin made me relocate back to India a few years ago within Accenture. And I got to work with various Australian customers and many of the APJ UK-based financial services customers since the time I relocated. Then I've been here in VMware for about 4 months now. Before joining VMware, as you called out, I had a beautiful stint within Thomson Reuters. I was playing a global role there. I was heading a delivery of business systems there, and I was also leading digital transformation programs for them globally. So it was a beautiful stint again. Then I joined VMware 4 months ago. I'm here responsible for CIO functions for the APJ region. I also head the engineering globally for our enterprise SaaS transformation. So with these responsibilities, since the question is more about my career journey, I would say I'm very confident that this journey ahead is going to be even more gratifying for me.
That was really inspirational, Rupa. Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us. My next question is that, the pandemic is here. I mean, I'm sure the pandemic is hard on everybody, but I believe that women have been disproportionately affected by the pandemic. I mean, they are chaperoning kids to their online classes. So what are some of the challenges that you are facing and your employees are facing, and how are you overcoming that?
Great question, Supriya. Yes, as you rightly said, yes, it has been very, very challenging, right? Particularly as you called out, I've been interacting with many women who had to take care of young children, homeschooling them. Many of them are struggling just doing the homeschooling for their children. Many of them are taking care of aged parents. There's so many different responsibilities, so many different challenges, and not much additional help, right? That's the key. There hasn't been much help because of the lockdown, etc. And at the same time, I have to call out, since we are all on the IT side, the work has increased. Work has definitely increased since the pandemic, right? Because IT teams had to work relentlessly to ensure all the employees are able to work remotely, work effectively, and also provide that IT support remotely, etc. So the work side also there has been quite change. So and within VMware, if I can specifically call out, through the pandemic, the growth targets also have increased. It's a very, very exciting time within VMware for all of us. We have very aggressive growth targets. So it's challenging on some factors through this pandemic, and at the same time, we have to call out. It's been exciting on some of the factors as well, right? How we are coping up. That was your question. First of all, I think what is needed and what we've been doing is just be there for each other. Just talk to as many as possible. Empathize the situation. We are all in the situation together. It's not unique to any one of us. It's global. So that empathy is really, really helpful, right? Just be there, hear out, help and support each other. And on the work side, just make use of the flexibility. There are a lot of benefits in the flexibility offered by the organization. So we are definitely encouraging all the employees to make use of those. And also there is a lot of emphasis deliberately focusing on the physical as well as the mental well-being. That is very, very important, right? Work is there, the responsibilities are there, but there has to be a point to focus on a mental well-being as well as physical well-being, and that's what we've been doing.
Rupa, this is one of the toughest times to be a leader, is what I feel. I mean, the team is working remotely, and you have to do multiple things. So, what is your leadership style? How are you managing the team right now?
I probably touched on it without calling it as a specific leadership style. I think my leadership style is more of empathetic leadership, Supriya. Which I believe probably comes very natural for women leaders. That empathy comes probably a lot more natural, is what I believe. And that is what is required. The situation has changed, the perspectives have changed. So what is really needed is to be heard, to hear our employees, hear their feelings, their thoughts, just be there for each other and promote that one team culture. I personally don't believe in hierarchy at all. That's not my style. And that's probably an advantage to me in this situation. That way I can probably work with them as one cohesive time. Defining the role is very important. I have a role, they have a role, each one of them have a role. As long as those roles are clearly defined, I think we should come together as one team, one cohesive team, and then deliver together on a business outcome. So that oneness, one team. Our CEO is also promoting that in Be One VMware. And that's my natural leadership style as well.
Yeah, that's nice. So Rupa, what are the changes that you're looking to bring about, post your leadership? What are some of the initiatives that you are looking to spearhead at VMware?
Quite a few. As I said, it's very opportunistic time for all of us in VMware, and I really want to make use of that to the best extent possible. One is my role itself. My role itself has been changing since the time I started, which is really a great news. One is, first of all, I came into the organization as a APJ CIO, right? That was my initial role. But since then, as I said, we have very, very aggressive growth target. And at the back of it, we really want to make a SaaS as a central to our business. So we are going through the SaaS business transformation. So which is very, very critical to the organization, right? So I, as my key role now, I head all of engineering for that enterprise SaaS transformation globally, right? So at the back of the transformation, one of the key initiatives that I've started right now is a very foundation to that SaaS transformation, which is building that SaaS mindset. Mindset and the culture. These are some of the hard things. It's not really measurable, right? But these are very foundation and fundamental. So one of the initiatives is to define that mindset and drive that mindset within the enterprise engineering teams. That's one of the initiatives that I have taken. And then next one, if I can call upon, is VMware on VMware. There's an initiative called VMware on VMware, Supriya. One of the key reasons probably why I joined the organization, and an advantage of a technology company. So this program is all about how the internal team can help out our customers. Right? Majority of our products are sold or used by the CIO organizations of the customers. So me being on the CIO side of things, we as a CIO organization becomes the customer zero of our own products. So we use our own products, give feedback to the product teams on their future roadmaps, and we share our experiences on how we use the products and what are some of the challenges that we might have faced, etc., to our customers. So that's the program called VMware on VMware, and it's a very, very exciting program because we being on the CIO side of things, we get to interact with the customers. We get to share our customers, build that relationship, and provide that thought leadership to the customers. Very, very powerful initiative, and I lead that initiative for APJ region from the CIO side of things. And then if I can call on some other initiatives, of course, I'm very, very passionate about helping women in mid-career, who are in mid-career, to grow into leadership roles, because I see that as a shift. And that is a phase, right, when women are going through so many changes on the personal side, as well as on the career side, the momentum would have picked up. So I see that's where a little bit of a coaching, the push that is required for our women colleagues, and I'm very passionate about helping them. As I said, the also reason is I got that help when I was in that mid-career. I got that help, so I'm very keen on giving it back. This is time I would really like to give it back. I'm an executive sponsor for Women Pod for all of CDTO function, which is Chief Digital Transformation Office, which includes the CIO organization globally. Right. So yeah, anything to help women. So these are some of the initiatives that I can think of. There's so many opportunities where I can contribute. Honestly, I'm still learning the organization, and definitely look forward to contribute in other areas as well.
So Rupa, I'm so glad that you mentioned that you love mentoring women the most. So Rupa, what would you tell based on your learnings? How do you recommend women overcome the challenges that they face while climbing the ladder in their companies?
Yeah, that mid-career, right? It's a very tricky phase. If I can remember my experience, so mid-career is where you need to really focus on people skills. improving leadership skills, decision making. These are some of the things which sometimes it comes naturally, but even if you have that natural skills, you need to hone the skills. You need to really polish those skills. And nowadays, everything is global, right? So it is not that, a leader will be handling a specific team in a specific location or any of that sort. They're all going to be global team and coming with multicultural, right? So building that or honing that people skills become very, very important. So I would say investing time in polishing the leadership skills and building that people skills is very important. And be bold and start to take the decisions. A lot of times we take that for granted. In the corporate world, making some of the tough decisions or the large decisions, more impactful decisions are not going to be that straightforward, right? So you need to build that skill, and that skill comes only through experience. So you need to be confident and try out and fail fast. If you make a wrong decision, fail fast and build that confidence and invest time in all of these softer aspects. The technical skills, engineering skills, I'm sure you would have gained. That's why you are in that mid-career. And that shift happens. And when that shift happens to senior leadership roles, you need to focus on the softer aspects a lot more.
So Rupa, if you had a message, if I asked you to give a message to a girl who's considering a career in STAM, what would you tell her?
Oh yeah, great question. But see, I worked in other countries, and specifically in India, Supriya, the great news is the girls who are graduating from the STEM program, that percentage is very healthy. It's almost 50%, right? So that's a great news. So folks, the girls are taking up the right subjects, right course, and they're probably graduating from very good schools, etc. And then the data also shows that towards the mid-career, many women drop off, and and the shocking data is 70% of who drops off don't even come back, right? So with that context and with that data, right, my 2 cents honestly is don't give up. So it's everybody goes through that tough phase, right? As I said, when your career is picking up that momentum, and of course, you're getting older, your family responsibilities increases, that's the time there is a balancing act needed. So you explore options, don't think of leaving the career as a first choice, right? I'm sure if you think more, if you seek help, I'm sure, you would get plenty of options to take care of those constraints or the challenges that you might be facing. So my strong advice is, don't make that as a choice and don't give up. And the second one is dream big. Many a times we think of just one promotion is our next big dream, right? It's not really like that. Have a big dream. When you have that big dream, you naturally carve out a path to get there. You keep thinking about how do I move forward? How do I move forward? So that becomes easier. That aspiration and dream big is really needed, right? And then that gives you a power to keep moving on, and then go through some of the challenges that you will face. And then other thing is, if at all you have to take a break, sometimes you have to do it, right? If that's the right decision, that's the right decision. If you happen to take a break, don't regret it. It's okay. But what I would say is plan on coming back as soon as possible, right? As soon as you think your situation has gotten better, get back. And I also want to call out that there are many beautiful programs like Tara, Nakshatra, etc. The VMware offers. These are the programs specifically catered for women who are on a break and want to get back. See, it's not easy to get back to the corporate world, right? So even I was in my mid-career, we didn't even have such programs. Now, we have such programs. So if you're on a break, I would say come back soon. And when you come back, definitely make use of these fantastic programs that you have. That will give you confidence, that will give you the upskilling that you need to explore more roles and grow further into the career.
So Rupa, thank you so much for this candid and very honest, interview. I'm sure, it will inspire so many girls who watch this interview. So is there any one last message that you would like to add?
Again, right, the focus on women or wanting the diverse workforce in the organization, that awareness and that acknowledgement has increased over time across the board, right? Across any organization, every organization, as far as I know, they have some other program to nurture women talent and they help them grow, etc. Right? But since the time I've come on board in VMware, I've seen we have so many programs all the way from attracting the talent, top talent, to retain them and grow them. Right? So this timing is very, very perfect. Timing is very perfect. And I also want to call out as one of the positives of this pandemic is that there's a lot of things that's going to change for good. It's going to help women community, right? There are many women whom I know who might have left the workforce because of so many constraints, long work hours, office location, commuting, etc., etc. So for that group of people or that group of women, it's going to be a boon. Now every organization probably will think of giving a lot more flexibility, or maybe work from home becomes a norm. You don't have to get back to office even post pandemic, etc. Right? So I would say take advantage of this situation. The situation should not have happened, but now that it has happened, make use of this situation and some of the advantages that's going to come at the back of it. Make use of some of the programs that are out there, as I really called out, and if this 20 minutes of whatever the talk that we are having, Supriya, if it's going to encourage and make at least a couple of women get back to workforce, our job done, honestly. I really hope that happens.
I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will. So Rupa, thank you so much, for talking to us. It was an absolute pleasure. And, thank you for sharing your journey with us. And, I'm sure it will really inspire young girls, like you just said. Thank you.
Thank you, Supriya.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for facilitating this. Thank you so much.